Hi, welcome back to the Mum Boss Method podcast. I'm Chrissy, I'm the Mum Boss, and this week I am back with another Mum Boss at Home community check-in. This is where the lovely ladies of my community get to check in every week and get my help and my support with all of their challenges and to help them to move along in their journey. So if you are interested in joining the Mum Boss at Home community and getting this support from me, then check out the links in the show notes or come and find me on social media or head over to my website, themumbossmethod.com. Okay, let's jump straight in. I've got loads of wins here. So Emma's win is joining boot camp and getting some weekend walks in. Natalie went out for a quick dinner before a show in London with the fam, and everyone wanted burgers, so she picked the lowest calorie option of the grilled chicken burger and didn't have fries, just water. And during the show, she didn't pick any of the family sweets like she would normally do. So she told herself that she's choosing this option as it aligns with her goals. She still felt like she'd had a treat and she didn't feel like she was missing out. Amazing, Natalie, well done. Okay, big win for Claire. She noticed that she's now in control of her food rather than her food being in control of her. And she's had a really tough week, one of the most stressful that she's had in a while. And it's not until when she's sitting down and writing her check-in that she's realised she didn't use food to cope with that stress. And actually, she didn't even think about food to lift her mood. She used movement and did her workouts. And that's what lifted her mood. And that's a massive win. Well done, Claire. So proud of you. Amy had fish and chips, shared a portion with her son, took a handful of chips and a portion of the fish rather than doing her normal of ordering a large meal for herself and sides, and she was surprised how full she felt and that she very much enjoyed it. Well done, Amy, that's amazing. See, we're so used to just eating, you know, what we eat or what they send us in a takeaway. You can still enjoy a takeaway and make progress. It's amazing. Jackie got lots of sleep. Sarah had a really good week with her food choices and limiting her snacks. She went out for dinner on Friday. She enjoyed the dinner and drinks, but didn't write off the rest of the weekend, and she got straight back to it on Saturday morning. Well done, Sarah. Helen has she found that she ran out of time to sort some boxes, which she's desperate to do in the house, but the reason she ran out of time is because she chose to do a workout instead, and this is huge for her. So she's moving herself higher up that priority list. Scales and measurements are showing progress, and she's very proud of that. Lisa found that even though her stress levels are high, she's not using it as an excuse to overeat, and that's massive for her. Emma found ways to fit in extra steps into busy days, even carrying on a walk outside when the rest of the family had gone home. That's amazing. Jack had all clear appointments for medical appointments for her family. The world didn't end, and she's proud of her children for being legends this week. Well, Natalie upped her steps most days. Well done, Natalie. Julie has found that putting the extra portion of fruit and veg on her plate is becoming easier, almost second nature, to reach for those drawers in the fridge when she's prepping food, so she's pleased with that. She keeps repeating the mantra of what can she add to make this healthier. Lynn's had a lot less snacking than usual. Tracy has found that her sleep patterns are much better. She only worked late one night despite and had a disrupted night with her son being ill, but she had an early night the following night to catch up, and she's doing over 7,000 steps each day. Claire's eating a lot more protein, so no snacking. Hannah has drunk a lot more water, having good high protein breakfast most days, and planning her meals for the rest of the week, and she loves that meal planning. She's done it every week since we started, and it's really becoming a habit. Jamie got through a tough week. She's feeling better and she's looking forward to getting her steps up. looking forward to moving onwards and upwards, sorry. Sona kept to her calorie target, and Steph, her win is fitting into a pair of leggings that she bought 2 years ago and she's never worn because they're too tight. Amazing, well done. Okay, let's move into some challenges. So a couple of these I answered in our WhatsApp group, but I thought they'd be really great to share on the podcast actually. So one of the questions and challenges was that despite ensuring good protein at each meal, there are still some sweet cravings late morning on one day or late afternoon. So this person had 3 chocolate biscuits one day and some cake another. She said, in hindsight, I should have had the chocolate protein pudding in the fridge. Plus, one night I felt hungry at 9 p.m, so I had a protein bagel, but did I really need it? ? I felt hungry though. So what I want you all to remember is that eating enough protein, and for most of you, the minimum protein you should be having a day is 100 grams, will give us the best chance of reducing those cravings, reducing that hunger later in the day or later in the morning. But there are all manner of reasons why you might be craving something sweet either late morning or late afternoon, and they could be anything from hormones, it could be tiredness, it could be some kind of emotional eating, so boredom, procrastination, stress, anxiety, upset, could even be a happy emotion. It could be the amount of caffeine you've drunk. So I've been sharing quite a lot that I'm on this 1 coffee a day journey where I'm not having my first coffee for about 90 minutes to 2 hours after I've woken up, and I'm only having the 1 a day, and I'm really enjoying it. And one thing that's really helped is to curb my sugar craving that I normally get between 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And that's because of the effects of the caffeine. So I eat a super high protein diet, but occasionally I would still feel quite tired and like I needed a sugar and caffeine fix at about 3 or 4. So it could be caffeine. It could be that you have actually had less protein a couple of days before. So maybe your protein was a bit lower, 2 days before, and so that's kind of catching up on you. It could be all manner of things. It could be the rest of your food choices in those meals. So think about that as well. Protein's important, calories are important, but what we're making our meals up with is really important as well. So yes, are we getting protein? Yes, are we getting fruit and veggies and other sources of fibre? Are we getting enough fat in our diet? So are you making sure that you're hitting 45-50 grams of fat a day, so including those healthy fats into your diet as well? And I know the meals that this lady's talking about, and she absolutely was. It could be habit. So we need to, the protein gives us the best chance of not having these sugar cravings, but we need to be realistic that there are, and that's why any of the work you do with me is about the sum of all of your habits, and that includes things like stress and sleep. So really thinking about your days and thinking about the big picture. What am I doing as a whole picture to make sure that this is working? How was my sleep? How is my energy in general? The other thing to think about is this person in particular has actually just moved into the Last Diet Club. So she will be, re-going over everything that all of her targets anyway. But you're moving a whole lot more now than you were at the beginning of starting the at-home community because of an injury. So, we need to look at that. But yes, things like a protein pudding or a protein yogurt later on in the afternoon or the morning or the evening, if you're feeling a bit snackish, would be really useful. So I hope that helps. Okay, another challenge here. A couple of these are quite similar. So my head is, a bit all over the place, having quite a lot of stress in life, so my head is so full that planning ahead for meals has been hard. However, we always have a great stock of vegetables and eggs, so if all else fails, an omelette it is. Also, no time for me. It's a good job that a holiday is coming up, and I don't think I drank enough water. So let's just break these down a little bit. When there's a lot of stress going on in life, your head will feel full and you will struggle to do some of the easiest things. So something I've been talking about with a lot of my one-to-one clients this week is keyless entry. How can you make things as easy as possible for yourself so that when life gets challenging, everything, or as much as possible, is done for you? I'll give you a quick example. I posted about this on my social media yesterday, but the first thing I did when I woke up on Sunday was plan the rest of my week. I made sure my meals were planned in, my workouts were planned in, I knew what I needed to do, when and when by for work, where everyone needed to be, everything. I did that before I even got out of bed in the morning. And here's why. Because I knew yesterday was going to be a really busy day. And actually, yesterday turned out to be a really rubbish day because the dog rolled in fox poop and it just ruined my walk that I was doing. And it became a really busy day. And if I had left that planning until the end of the day, 6-7 o'clock when we'd finished dinner, I would have gone, I'll just wing it. I'm too tired. I'll just wing it. These things don't happen by accident, so we have to make time for them. So how can you create keyless entry for yourself? And what I mean by that is, if you've got one of those cars where you don't even have to press the button to get into it, you just can be close to the car and press the button on the door handle. It's the reason those cars are designed like that is so that you don't have to root around in your handbag or your pockets to find your car keys, right? So how can you do this more naturally in your life? So for me, my keyless entry yesterday was planning my week before I even got out of bed, because I knew the day was going to be busy. It's good that you've got some fail-safe options in there, like an omelette and stuff like that. What else can you make sure that you're putting in place to make things really easy? Remember, we don't have to cook up a 5-star meal from scratch every day. That's not what this is about. Okay. No time for you. What I want to really challenge you is even just to find 5 or 10 minutes, and this is for many of you have said that you're struggling with time for you, 5 or 10 minutes just to sit and breathe, not scroll, not look at a screen, not do anything, because I know you can find 5 minutes, but when you are this stressed, that is so important. We can't keep, just pedaling until our holiday. Okay. And then someone else said, too much falling in one week just proves to me that simplifying things works best for me. And that was an unavoidable week for this person. But back to my previous point, simplify. Where is your keyless entry? Another person seemed to have slipped with the me time this week, various reasons or excuses. And this person is going on holiday from Thursday, so time to chill out. But again, I just don't want you to be leaving your me time until your holidays. Even if you do 5 minutes a day, that's important. Okay. Couple of other challenges then. We have got movement, not enough. Did a couple of workouts, but in general movement was lower than planned. Okay, if you planned it in, that's the first thing, because we know these things don't happen by accident. But if you didn't do them, why didn't you do them? Was there excuses, or was there genuine reasons? If there was excuses, then how can we stop those excuses? What do we need to be saying to ourselves? What conversation do you need to be having with yourself so that doesn't happen going forward? Okay, so we've got a few excuses and how people are getting in their own way that I want to cover off here. So Calorie counting, I don't have time. I tried to download MyFitnessPal, it didn't work. It then tried to charge me, I gave up. Then I did it, but I couldn't find the meals I had, so back to don't have time to keep adding my foods. And the same person said, how do you add foods or meals to MyFitnessPal when you eat out and there's no calories shown on the menus? So let me just be really, really clear. Tracking your calories does not need to take a lot of time. And as this person has put, you know, this was an excuse that I used. You know, they've answered that for themselves. They know that it's an excuse. Listen, downloading it can be a faff. Yes, it will always try to charge you, but there is a free version. You don't need to pay for MyFitnessPal, but it does not need to take loads of time. You can use the meal option. So for your general meals that you're having every day in the house or that you have regularly, you can create meals. You can copy meals from previous days. It's really easy. There's 3 little buttons under breakfast, lunch and dinner. Click on that, copy from date, and find the date you want to copy it from. Or even better, if you had a breakfast on Friday that you want to copy to Monday, go back to Friday, 3 little dots, copy to Monday, right? It's easy. It doesn't have to take a long time. So use the meal options, use the recipe options, and pre-track where you can. So if you are planning your meals, which you should be, pre-track as much as you can, so that all you have to do is go in on a daily basis and make slight amendments to the things you maybe didn't eat, or something you ate more of, or something you ate less of. And to make it even easier for yourself, try to stick to the same 1 or 2 breakfasts, the same 1 or 2 lunches every day, so that they are always in your diary. And that way, all you have to do is copy them from day to day. It really doesn't take very much time. Now, when it comes to adding the foods or the meals to MyFitnessPal when you eat out and there's no calories, this is just taking an educated guess. So for example, I always like to use a takeaway as an option, because, you know, if we go out for a Chinese meal, for example, you could go into the restaurant or you could get it as a takeaway. Let's say you're eating chicken chow mein. You just search in MyFitnessPal Chinese restaurant or takeaway chicken chow mein. Don't go for the lowest option. I would always err on the side of the highest. Let's say you went out for steak and it's like a small independent restaurant. It's not a steakhouse or a Harvester or anything like that. Maybe just find a steakhouse or a Harvester and go with that. We always know that when we're eating out, the calories will always be higher because they use a lot more butters and oils and fats to cook in, because that's what gives food flavour. So always err on the side of more calories rather than less, okay? And if you can pre-track as much as you can of the meals you know you're having, then you've saved yourself time. Okay. Another question here. What exercises did you do to strengthen your knees, as mine are feeling a bit sore after workouts? So I'm really hesitant to give this advice because I'm not a physio, I'm not an osteopath. My knee problems were helped by an osteopath who I saw for the whole of last year, and he got me doing some step ups to help me and some other exercises to help me with my knees. But my knee problems could be completely different to yours, so I'm really, really reluctant to give you too much advice on this. I would see an osteopath or a physio about your knees. Okay, so what else have we got? I love this. For the first time ever, I don't think I made any excuses. I ran out of time to do my third workout in the week, so I did it last night, so that was Saturday night. I do Pilates once a week and 2 of your workouts, and I aim for 8 to 10 steps a day, 8 to 10k steps a day, so well done. So no excuses there. Okay, so this person is keep justifying all these coffee shop lattes which you don't need. Okay, So firstly, I would definitely look into, have a read and a research around the effects of caffeine on adenosine in our bodies and things like sleep. This person in particular, I know, is a night owl. I don't know when you stop drinking caffeine, but let's just remember that depending on the milk you have, depending on the size of the coffee you have, depending on where you go, you are looking at a latte being anywhere between 100 to 300 calories per drink. And not only is that expensive in terms of how many calories you're using, it's expensive in terms of how much money you're using. So could we try and average that out? Let's say you're having on average 3 a day. Could we maybe reduce that down to 2? And I don't know, maybe something to do, which actually I probably should have done, because now I'm only having 1 coffee a day, I'm being really selective about where that coffee comes from, is instead of buying yourself a coffee or 3 coffees, could you put the money you would have spent in a separate bank account or in a jar if you've got it in cash? Who has cash nowadays? And at the end of 4 months, 6 months, or a certain amount of time, count it all up and buy yourself something nice, just to try and reduce the amount of coffee that you're drinking. This does come down to a bit of parenting yourself, because I can't stop you drinking the coffee. You need to work out, well, that 3rd coffee or however many it is going to mean I don't get this later on when I want a little snack at the end of the day. I know this person's a big snacker. Okay, so really good admission by someone here. So they've let me know how much exercise they've got in. They want to get 3 functional fitness sessions in and their swim. She says here, I say I haven't got time through doing everything else, but then caught myself scrolling social media as I needed some downtime, and she's put that in quotation marks. But that could have been an exercise session instead. Absolutely. Louder for the people at the back, okay? Scrolling social media is not downtime. It's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. So it's not going to really give you space. It's not letting your brain relax and have some time down. It's not actually going to do anything healthy for you. So you're absolutely right. What would that time be better spent on? Okay, and there's a couple of people actually that have admitted that they're not exercising because all they want to do is sit on the sofa and scroll instead of actually doing what needs to be done. I have recently installed an app called Opal onto my phone, and I'm still using the free version of it for the next 2 days, but it has stopped me scrolling. And scrolling is part of my job, let's be clear, but it has really stopped me scrolling. So you get to choose here. You get to choose. You get to move your body. You get to decide that actually scrolling is not a good use of your time, and to call yourself out on those excuses. And what I encourage you to do is to do that. Okay, another challenge here, putting too much effort into everyone else and showing and allowing uncontrollable situations to control my behaviour. I keep telling myself just to do that for work, or do that because it will make life easier later, when really I was just avoiding doing things for myself, like self-care and movement. So the question is here, why? Why are you avoiding doing the things that are good for you, like self-care and movement? Why is that? Only you can answer that, but have a look at why that is. Okay, moving into questions then. So I've got a couple of similar ones here that I want to have a chat to you about. So my mummy pooch is not budging despite losing centimetres from my chest and waist. Would you recommend more cardio for faster fat loss or start a regular abs routine? And then also exercises that will tone up my hips, as these are probably the bit of my body I dislike the most. Okay, so two different people, two different questions here. I posted about this the other day as well. Ladies, we cannot spot reduce fat. It does not happen like that. It does not work like that. It's impossible. So we can't tell our body where to take the fat from. Our body decides. And your problem areas are your problem areas because that's the last place your body probably takes the fat from. So the reason I posted this about this, I think it was twice last week actually, is the last place my body takes fat from is my hips and my glutes and my thighs. And the first place it goes from is my collarbones and my chest. Okay, so I have always despised my legs because they've always been bigger. And then when I realised there's no diet, there's no exercise, there's no supplement, there's no magic cream that I can use that is going to change that fact, because you cannot spot reduce fat, it changed the way I saw my legs. And now I just see them as super strong. Okay, so no, I don't recommend more cardio for faster fat loss, because if you do more cardio, it's likely to push up your hunger. What I recommend is you stick to your calorie deficit that I've given you, and you stick to that consistently. You get at least 3 resistance workouts in a week and you hit your step target. You can train your abs. So this person said, should I start a regular ab routine? No. Training your abs is not going to burn the fat on the abs. All it's going to do is make your abs stronger. So you need, in order to reduce the fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. More cardio, you'd actually be better off spending your time getting more steps in than more, cardio like on a treadmill or a bike. And exercising the abs is not going to make the abs show through or make the fat go away quicker. That's down to your calorie deficit. So your time and effort would be better off if you want to get a bit more movement in, get some more steps in, tick the rest of your boxes and stick to your calorie deficit. And then the second part of that, or second question from a different person, exercises that will help me tone up my hips. These are probably the bit of my body I dislike the most. Like I've just said, toning up, the term toning up means to reduce body fat so that lean muscle can be seen through. If you don't have lean muscle, you need to build lean muscle and reduce body fat so that you can see tone. Okay, so there are no exercises or diets that I can give you that is going to remove the fat on your hips. You just need to, like I said to the first person, you need to stick to your calorie deficit. You need to be doing 3 workouts a week. You need to get your steps in. You need to get your protein in. You need to get your fruit and veg in. You need to tick the boxes. The body will take the fat from the hips when the body is ready to take the fat from the hips. And I know that that's not what you want to hear. Okay, so someone has said that they take medication for depression and anxiety. Does this medication slow weight loss as an increase in appetite or cause water retention? So the research, I've had this question from clients quite a few times. What the research, if you look on your medication packet, a lot of medications will say may cause weight gain. Actually, the link between anxiety and depression and weight gain is not because of the medication. Weight gain is caused by eating more calories than you burn on a daily basis. Weight loss is created by eating fewer calories than you burn on a daily basis. And a medication, I need a sip, can't change that. Okay, if you think about it, anxiety and depression, low mood, tend to make people want to move less and want to eat more. You're less likely to move if you're feeling low. You're more likely to eat more and comfort yourself if you're feeling low. Okay, anxiety, stress, eating, often people anxiety eat. So what actually tends to happen is the stress and the anxiety and the depression that you're feeling cause your movement to lower, your food to increase, and therefore you're more likely to be eating more calories than you're burning. So you're changing the energy balance. It's actually nothing to do with the chemical makeup or the calories contained in the medication. Great question here. Is there a good prep box company like HelloFresh, but a very good quality one where meat is high quality? I haven't used prep boxes for a long time, but I know a lot of people really like Gusto. I can't speak for the quality of the meat. This would be a trial and error situation. You can get like money off vouchers for most of the prep boxes, so give them all a try and have a look. But they're a great idea if you are short on time for meal prep. Okay, how best to retain a routine when work demands you in different cities throughout the months, so through hotels and stuff. So I recommend you have a look at, I think it's what episode was it? Let me have a look. Okay, episode 119, controlling what you can, weight loss when you travel. Have a listen to that episode of the Mum Boss Method podcast. Next, let's have a look. I get really puffy fingers when running. Is this a common thing? Google is not helpful. Don't rely on Dr. Google, but also remember I'm not a doctor. Puffy fingers tends to be water retention or circulation related. It could be that all the fluid goes to your fingers. If it's a problem, I would speak to a GP. Okay, going on holiday on Thursday for husband's birthday. Need a pep talk about not filling my face with shit at breakfast because it's there. I'm already talking to myself on the subject of not having to eat all the breakfast buffet to get my money's worth. My other 3 can do that. Okay, listen to episode 101, which is weight loss on holidays. That will help you. But yes, you are not a bin. You do not need to eat the food because it's there. Okay, getting frustrated to not lose any weight. Clothes don't feel looser, although measurements are going down. How do we keep motivated to go on? I think I've spoken about this in every podcast since the at-home community started. And I'll probably do another podcast about this. But your measurements are going down. This person in particular, I know, is doing much more strength workouts than she was previously because she's working out with me in the community and at our local boot camp, and I have seen a difference in this person. So something is going down, but you're likely also building some lean muscle, which means the scales won't go down. So the scales are not the only measure of health. They're not the only measure of success. If your clothes aren't feeling looser, then it's likely that you've just not lost the body fat in those particular areas just yet. Keep going, remain consistent. You are progressing. I've seen it and I've seen your results. Okay. Last couple. So someone asked me if Chrissy is short for Christine. Yes, Chrissy is short for Christine, but you can't call me Christine because it makes me feel like I'm in trouble. Okay. Second from last question then. Partner is in the process of being diagnosed as type 2 diabetic, if not actually diabetic, but definitely pre-diabetic. Need to think about how we incorporate that into meals for all of us. Don't want to be cooking multiple meals. You don't need to cook multiple meals. So there is actually someone in the group who was pre-diabetic and is managing, through working with me, has been managing to reverse that. So this is about keeping carbs fairly low, so 100 to 120 grams a day. lots of protein, lots of fruit, veggies, whole foods. It doesn't need to be a completely different meal. It's just that your partner will need to eat smaller carb portions. Get him exercising, get him resistance training, get him walking. So the best things you can do, you can reverse type 2 diabetes, and it's doing what you're doing now. He just needs to be more conscious of how much carbs he's eating. So, maybe rather than a big bowl of pasta at dinner, he has half the pasta and more vegetables, that kind of thing. You don't need to be making any different meals. I think this is our last question. So any advice on how to best manage and stick to your goals when you're staying with family and friends? So again, listen to the holiday episode, because it's kind of similar. It's really difficult to do this because you don't want to dictate. If you're only staying with someone for 2 or 3 days, you don't want to dictate to them what you're going to be eating. And if you're going to visit family and friends, they're likely to be telling you, or they're likely to have got in loads of nice treat food because they're excited that you're coming and they want you to have a nice time and stuff like that. And that's lovely. And the first thing to remember is a couple of days is not going to reverse all the progress you've already made. That's the first thing. The second thing to remember is you don't have to eat everything that is put in front of you. So you don't have to eat all the biscuits they put on the plate. You don't have to eat the massive slice of cake they serve you. You don't have to eat all of the food that is served up to you at dinner time. You can ask for a slightly smaller portion. You can pick, if they put salad on the table, you can pick more salad to have on your plate. Again, it depends on who this is that you're doing this with, but sometimes getting into the conversation, or I wouldn't recommend you say I'm being good, because that's just going to reinforce in your mind that you are on a diet when actually you're just trying to make sensible choices. But you can have the conversations with some people. Some people just won't understand. When meals are presented to you, go for the protein, the fruit and the veggies first. For some people, like when I go and stay with my parents, they always have Greek yogurt now, but I tend to always take more fruit and veg with me. I take my protein powder with me because they're still very, carb heavy. It's like meat, carbs and 1 veg on your plate, whereas I'm more likely to have 3 veg on my plate, so I tend to take some with me. But it really depends on who you're staying with and how well they know you. Parents are probably different to friends. So if it's a couple of days, don't worry about it. If it's for longer, then you can have a conversation with them, or maybe take some of your own snacks, some of your own things, but focus on what you can control. And also, don't forget, this is meant to be about enjoying life as well as reaching your goals. This isn't about avoiding all of the nice occasions and all of the nice situations, and I don't want that to cause you anxiety. So if you've got any, and this goes for everyone, if you've got any of these specific situations coming up, feel free to put them in the WhatsApp group and we can help. But please don't worry about it. Okay, I'm getting quicker at these. That's less than 40 minutes. Well done for checking in, everyone. We had a couple missing, so please don't forget that this is your opportunity to get my help and support. And if you don't check in, I can't help you. If you don't reach out in the group, I can't help you. Okay, have an awesome week and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.